Obviously, I raised the issue of isolation in both rural and urban settings, and it's closely linked to, I suppose, its sister word, that of loneliness. And since I became mental health spokesperson and I have engaged with all sorts of issues around mental health, there is one issue that consistently exacerbates any mental health issue, and that's the word loneliness, which comes from isolation in a large respects. It affects both your physical health as well as your mental health as well. And whether it's in the urban centres of Gorey, Wexford, Enniscorthy, New Ross, or the rural parts of those, or whether I'm meeting groups in Dublin City or Cork or wherever the case may be, it is consistently there: isolation and loneliness and its effects on mental health. But I do think there's an awful lot we can do. Maybe a lot of the traditional structures that were there to prevent isolation and loneliness are gone, but I think the state can do an awful lot to develop new structures where people can meet, people can interact, and people can engage to combat this, I think, epidemic.
Thank you very much. Deputy, you're quite correct. That's why, I suppose, some of the schemes in my own department, the senior alert schemes, and that scheme has worked very well. We spent €6.984 million in 2018, supporting 19,000 new participants in 2018. Now, there's a new initiative that I'm going to introduce, and I'd like your support, and I'd like the support of everybody in this House. It's the National Community Weekend, and we're going to try and run that on May 2019. And we'll be announcing, we have already announced details, but we're going to do a national launch in it shortly. And what we're going to try and do is, we're going to try and get communities to host events, to get to know their neighbours, and to reduce isolation. And that's one of the issues that we're looking at. And I think, there's many people that are out there in a voluntary capacity who would be prepared to visit neighbours, to visit friends, and to visit people that need people to visit them. And I think this scheme that we're going to launch, we have already launched it in September, but we're going to do a national launch shortly, and we're hoping to have it in the May weekend. And I hope that will encourage people to get to know their neighbours. In relation to the other schemes that I have there, the SICAP programme, again, we have put 190 million over from 2018 to 2022. Over 25,000 individuals have been helped with that. The Mid Shed, again, across Ireland, they're out there doing that. And I suppose the other one that we did, and people don't see it as help to rural isolation, that's the LIS scheme. That funding is there to let people be able to get in and out of their homes.
Deputy Browne's final supplementary.
Thank you, Minister. I do think the supports have to be given to the voluntary and community groups in our settings, as I say, both urban and rural settings. In particular, those groups are already out there. There are some villages I think are quite good and quite strong, and they tend to be ones that have schools and have shops. But there's a lot of small villages in rural Ireland that don't have that little centre there, and I think we need to find a way to encourage greater interconnectivity in those areas. Obviously, people with disabilities, older people are very vulnerable, but a lot of young, healthy people, in particular farmers, are being isolated as well. The milkman now comes in and obviously collects the milk without talking to the farmer. The postman leaves the post down in a little green box at the bottom of the laneway, and farmers can go days without speaking to anybody, and there is a serious issue there. But equally in the urban settings, in the big cities, the most loneliest place you can be is surrounded by people, I think, sometimes in the big cities, and especially for elderly people again. So I suppose what I'm trying to do, Minister, is just encourage you to do whatever you can to combat this epidemic.